All right, so this is group one, and we're going to be going over group two and group five projects. And we're going to be starting with group two. It was the Radium Girls. With the first question, describe to your teammates the reaction, emotions you experienced listening to the presentation on the radiation accident. And we can start with you, Sasha.
Well, I was just kind of like tripped out because if they were working in that factory for so long and like later on in life, their jaw pretty much started to like deteriorate, I believe I was reading. I
Hmm.
was like, I didn't think that had that much impact just by what the little that they did.
Yeah, no, it was very sad. What did
Yeah.
you put down for it, Stephanie? Or what were your reaction?
My initial reaction for the Radium Girls, honestly, I was just um especially for the images that we saw that they used during the slideshows, the knee and then the chin, I was a little horrified like that. That was a huge disfigurement. And then back in the days in the 1950s, that's where like a woman's beauty would essentially be her marketability. So that was like really tough to swallow there.
Yeah, yeah, you can just imagine what she had to go through after that. All of
Yeah.
them. What about
Mhm.
you, Kimberly?
Sort of the same with Sasha and Stephanie that like without even knowing they were affected this way and then to not even realize all these years later, then to have their chin look like that, it's kind of mortifying.
Yeah, I just felt, I don't know, so disturbed that something like that could happen in a company because they had no idea they were like painting watches and stuff with radioactive paint, and they will leak them to get the tip all pointy, and months after some of their teeth will fall off, and the chin, their jaws, I think, dislocated. Yeah, it was just really sad. Um, the second question says, describe what you think triggered your reactions and emotions. We can go backwards, so I can start with that one. I think what triggered my emotions, it was obviously the graphic scenes and descriptions. And
Mhm.
another thing is that we work with radiation, so I could just, imagine myself in that situation. If they didn't teach us or warn us about any radiation, but they still had us work with it, we just feel so, I don't know. What about you, Kimberly?
Yeah, it was the pictures that really no graphic warning, just straight to the point.
Yeah, Stephanie?
Yeah, I was trying to think about the timeline of where they were at. Like they barely had understanding of radiation as it was. Like it was still new to them. So did they even know like the effects of radium? And then yeah, yeah. Like I was
Yeah.
still caught up on the time of of when they were at. I was
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, maybe their understanding of radium wasn't so strong, or like that's what I'm caught up on.
Yeah, what frustrates me a lot is that I read a little bit of it, and the managers or the higher ups, whenever they went to the fabric or wherever they were working, they will wear protective equipment like aprons and stuff. But they will tell them that they didn't need it, that it was okay. So they knew it wasn't safe. They just didn't know how bad it could get or something like that. And
That
it's
is
just,
annoying.
yeah.
That
That's
would trigger my emotions right
Yeah,
Yeah,
there. Like what?
exactly. I was
yeah,
about to say the pictures, but now hearing you talk, I'm like, that's some nonsense right there.
I know.
It's frustrating because they're just protecting themselves, but not their workers, you know?
Exactly. It's like if you are wearing protection, you know something is wrong,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
and
I
then they
wouldn't want to
will,
get close to that if they're, I don't know.
yeah. I think they were also like painting their teeth and their nails because it mentions
Hmm.
that the paint made it shiny or like I don't know if to say radiolucent. No, that's not it. Just yeah, shiny. And they were just having fun with it, and then their nails started falling off. They got skin cancer. It was so bad.
Yeah.
All right. The third one says, as soon to be radiologic technologies, discuss what you will do differently to prevent the situation. Sasha.
probably like get more information on the product that we're using
Hmm.
to be more safe about it, and especially how you were saying they're protecting themselves, but they should be protecting everyone who's working with that stuff. Not, I don't know. I feel like that was very selfish, and we shouldn't be selfish as rad techs.
Yeah, not with the
Knowing,
safety.
yeah,
Yeah. Stephanie?
Yeah, especially after that one article where we had to discuss how doctors knew very little about radiation. I feel like it's our job to inform a lot of people around us, like, oh, hey, radiation, you might want to wear this, or just, keep your distance, or just as radiation techs, we should just keep be mindful that some people don't know or don't have the understanding that we do.
Hmm. Definitely. I feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there about it. Like some people are really scared about it, and some people in our industry, they don't care for it. They are like, oh yeah, just shoot it, I'll hold it.
yeah,
What about you, Kimberly?
Yeah, it's definitely the same. Like I feel like people are a lot more uneducated on things like radiation than we think. So it's kind of scary, not so good. So like Stephanie said, it's nice to be able to educate them a bit.
Yeah, I wrote down that I will try to spread common knowledge about radiation to at least the people close to me, so they will be aware of it, at least of the side effects. If you are near something that you don't recognize and you feel like it's radiating, like you feel heat or something, and then you start feeling nauseous or sick or whatever, it could be radiation. Um,
That's when you show them the chin pictures.
yeah, I know, and they will never forget that. Um, and lastly, discuss your takeaways from the accident. I wrote down that I feel very fortunate that we live in a time in which there are so many regulations
Mhm.
around working with radiation, and
Mhm.
that the safety of the employees and patients is the priority.
yeah.
Kimberly?
Yeah, I feel the same. It's better living in the world we live in now where there's more education than before.
Hmm. Definitely.
Especially the accountability nowadays. Like, I feel like we have more strength in like suing the
Yeah,
managers, or getting like actual regulations put in place and speaking out and having change be done.
Hmm.
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm.
That and always practice Alara.
Alara. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think Alara, it's seems simple, but it goes a long
It's
way.
yeah, and I feel like it was harder back then. Like you guys said, there was only so much people knew about it,
Hmm.
and we're lucky enough to have more information behind it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we can now move on to Group Five's project. I don't remember the name or the title of it, but do you
I
guys
think it
remember?
was the Texas radiation assault one, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was about the kid and the parent that was poisoning him.
Oof.
I know that one's also a very
I
rough one.
know.
Uh, all right. Again, we can start with the first one. Describe to your teammates the reaction emotions you experienced listening to the presentation on the radiation accident. And we can start with you, Sasha.
I was shocked and disturbed for sure because it's just, I don't know. I don't know who would in their right mind think to do something like that.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Definitely.
Especially to their own child. Like
Exactly. And
that.
as a parent, I'm just like, no, there's no way.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't care what issues I have with the other co-parent, like that. Don't mess. Why would you mess around with your children? That is
I
some
know.
extra level evil.
Yeah.
That,
I think that's what got me on that one.
Hmm.
yeah.
Kimberly.
It's scary, like that they did it to their own family member.
Yeah.
Like who were to say like they weren't to do that to someone else at the time?
And I think they mentioned in the presentation that it was to get back at his wife,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
that's just so
Hmm.
sad. It's
Why
horrible
use
to
Even
your
know that
child?
worse.
somebody could do that.
You're literally poisoning your child. Like, how is that getting back at your wife? You could
Yeah.
have poisoned her or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's horrible. The second question, describe what you think triggered your reaction and emotions. For me, it was everything that we just said. The fact that it was
Hmm.
an innocent child, the fact that it was his son, the fact that he was poisoning him slowly. He was, I think the word was castrated. at a young age, so his testicles were not working anymore. He had to be put in testosterone treatment. That was just horrible.
Yeah. I mean, me as a mom, that's what triggered everything. I'm just like,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know.
it's so cruel.
I don't get
I
how
think
people.
I was a little just the fact that the child was supposed to trust this parent, had the trust in this parent to like take care of him, and then they failed him in such a way
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
I think that's what triggered my emotions or
Oh,
my reactions. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, you wouldn't think twice. I mean, if your mom comes or your dad and they hand you like
No.
orange juice or whatever, they buy you a new headphones. You put them
And you
on. You don't think there's
shouldn't.
any
Yeah.
radio material in there. Damn.
Horrible.
Um, and then the third one, as soon as to be radiologic technologies, discuss what you would do differently to prevent the situation. Sasha.
I don't know, because that's kind of hard because I feel like how would you prevent something like that happening from home? Maybe not making stuff as accessible. I, I don't know.
Yeah,
That
it's
one's hard.
difficult to apply it, honestly,
Yeah.
to take. What about you, Stephanie? Do you think of something how you could
Honestly,
apply
I
it?
agree with Sasha. Like, I can't imagine in our job how we would get radiation and take it home with malicious intent
Yeah.
to subject it to our family members or something like that.
Hmm.
I can't imagine what sort of things that we should practice to not have that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kimberly?
Kind of scary to think like he really did that at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Only thing I can think of, it's maybe Nuke Med, because they
That's what
have
I
like
was
the
thinking.
small isotopes or whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't know if how easy it will be to just take one of those home and, use it.
No, and then back then too, it's like,
Yeah, probably that's why, because there
I
was
don't
less
know.
regulation.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
But
Remind me,
yeah.
this was in 1970 something, 1972?
Two?
Hmm.
1992.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I pretty much wrote down the same thing as the Radium Girls, just like spread common knowledge about radiation. But yeah, in this case, I
Mhm.
mean, if a kid comes to you and tells you that they're feeling nauseated or dizzy, you wouldn't think too much of it. You wouldn't think
No,
radiation poisoning.
that's the last thing that would come to my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a rough one. And lastly, discuss your takeaways from this accident. I wrote my takeaways from this is that just as radiation can help people, it can also just as easily harm them. And we
Hmm.
are all familiar with the extremes like nuclear bombs, but we should also know the small constant doses can be poisonous for all living things. So right there.
Especially over time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for
Hmm.
sure. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah, look at those stochastic and deterministic effects that we
Mhm.
experience, huh? Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
I feel like
Exactly.
those terms really stuck to us over and over and over again.
Over and over.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. Those are all of the questions. Does anybody have anything else they want to add?
I don't.
No? Perfect. Then we're all done.